Good evening, Mr. Huan. Please mute it. Mr. Huan, can you hear
Yes,
me?
Bhante, I couldn't unmute because I was not the host yet and didn't have that privilege.
Oh, right. I understand, Mr. Huan.
Good evening to you, Bhante. It's
Good
wonderful to
evening.
be here.
Have a very nice evening, Mr. Huan.
It always is a nice evening, Bhante, especially with the Sangha.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking care of the whole meeting.
I don't mind. It's a pleasure to do that. It definitely is a good feeling to do something wise and helpful.
Yes. Mr. David, good evening.
To see if they can unmute. Hang on, bye.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, for now. All right. Okay, everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good evening to everyone once again. And before we start, let me do the same wish. May this meditation session also bring you at least a little peace, little happiness for your mind. It's okay. Right. I think she needs a chair. All right. Okay, please say. So, dear Dhamma friends, we are practicing, so the newcomers, they are practicing breathing meditation, and the old students, they are practicing Vipassana meditation. And all students, they have already entered to the third third phase of Vipassana meditation. Now, not only observe the head area, right? Then after that, not only the face area, now we are instructed to observe the sensations on your neck and both hands up to the fingertips. So very patiently, part by part, pitch by pitch, please keep on observing. And two meditators who were constant, so Mr. Kevin and Ms. Jane, so they were asked to practice the first phase of Vipassana meditation too. So, so if you feel like, if you feel, so whenever you have to start with the top of your head. But if you feel like it's boring, then start with the lower portion. That means from the neck, right? So neck area to the fingertips. First finish that part and then go to the top of your head, right? So only if you feel so a little boring, but somehow wherever you look on your body, you will only experience sensations. Sensations have no difference. Let you feel them, or let it be. Let you feel them on the top of your head or on your fingertips, wherever you feel them, right? They have the same characteristic. They are impermanent, change. All the sensations have the same characteristic. They have no difference. And the new students, so all the new students, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation, right? I already described, but there are several new students in person and online too. So I would like to remind them the breathing meditation, right? What you have to do is, so please pay your entire attention to your breath. When the breath is coming in, please be fully aware. And be aware that right now, my breath, it is coming in. But don't go with the breath all the way in. Please stop your observation at the end of your nostrils. And when the breath is, when the breath passes that particular point, the end of your nostril, then please wait for a moment, very patiently until it comes back. It will come back and then it will touch the very same area. Then at that time, please be aware right now, my breath, it is going out. And then keep on being aware about that particular breath which is going out, right? If the breath is long, please be aware that the breath that I'm experiencing right now, it is long. If it is short, please be aware that the breath that I'm experiencing right now, it is short. If it is gross, be aware that it is gross. If it is soft, please be aware that it is soft. And if it is so like that, according to the nature of your breath, please keep on being aware, right? So like that. So please keep on developing concentration, your focus on your breath. Try to maintain it as long as possible, right? Try to maintain your focus as long as possible. By that way, let your mind to develop concentration and patience deeper. So that let yourself to feel calm, to feel the calmness, peacefulness within. It will lead to inner happiness too, right? So please practice like that. I hope all of you could understand. So newcomers, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation, and then all students, they are kindly requested to practice Vipassana meditation. Every day before we start, I teach you something for your life. So because of one incident which happened recently, today I'm going to teach you very briefly how to face a situation if you are wrongly accused, right? So sometimes certain people cannot bear if they are wrongly accused. Then what they do is, so they sometimes go to fight with the accuser, and they mess up the situation. Sometimes it ends with unfortunate endings, right? So I would like to teach these steps. If you want to write them down, please write them down. But please apply if this happens in your life, right? So if you are wrongly accused, then first thing that you have to do is, so you have to be calm as possible, as much as possible, right? You have to understand, in this world, people accuse, so people compare oneself with the others. They always practice comparison, and then always they try to measure one's status with the other person's status, right? Then after those kinds of comparisons, the most of the people, they sometimes they don't talk it outside, but they accuse the other people, at least by mind, right? These kinds of people are there. So this is there in the world. You are not the only person who is wrongly accused in this world, right? There are so many people. Even the Buddha, even the Buddha had to face these kinds of situations. Later on, if we have time, I'll teach you that one story too. So people get wrongly accused. So first, you have to understand that you are not the only one who has to face these kinds of situations. So you have to keep your calmness. That's number one. That's the first step. Then number two, you have to understand the accusation, right? So instead of taking it personally, so you have to check whether this accusation, you have to understand the accusation, and then you have to analyze it. If it is a wrong thing, right, you have to understand that this accusation is false, and it is not something which is applicable for me, right? Somehow the truth is going to come out. Until then, let me be patient, right? Understand the accusation, why they are accusing you. That's number two, right? Then if it is a right accusation, you have to humbly accept that, right? Because those are the moments that you develop in life. You learn things in life newly, and so you have to see that as an opportunity to shape yourself. In a positive manner. So you have to take it positively, and then understanding that this accusation is right. So you should try your best to change yourself instead of getting angry. Number three. So if it is false accusation, then you have to gather the evidence, right? That's number three. So then number four. So you should not, number four, don't confront the accuser directly as much as possible. Please try until you find enough good evidences, right? To show that you are wrongly accused, to prove that you are wrongly accused. Don't go and fight with the accuser. Until then, please avoid confrontations as much as possible, right? That's number four. Number five, so if it is a big thing, then you have to go to the law, you have to take legal advice. If it is a big thing, right? Then number six, you have to document everything. So whatever things that are happening, you have to document everything. If this is a big thing, right? Big case, right? Then number 7, so nowadays, when such kind of things happen, so we go to social media and we start to write various kinds of stories on your social media, and then sometimes use bad language and accuse the other person in return. So such kind of things should not be done. So therefore, mainly the main point is you should not do something that can escalate the situation, right? So you are here to, as a good meditator, right? So you have to be wise enough not to let this situation to escalate. Instead, you should work. You should work not only for your peace, but also for the peace of others, right? So you should not do such kind of things. So you have to use social media or such kind of things. So you should not do things that can escalate the situation, right? And then at the same time, seek support. Next step, number 8, you have to seek support from your friends, so from counselors or wise people, right? So from such kind of people. Number 9, so if it is a big case, you have to follow the legal procedures, right? If it is a big thing, then you have to follow legal procedures, whatever the lawyer says. So you have to be careful and follow those legal procedures well. And then if it has been a traumatic situation for you, if you have become very sad or very depressed, then for sure you have to go for counseling. Number 11, so you have to understand that this is also impermanent. This will not ever last. You have to tell yourself, let's see how long this would last. Let me take the right steps and let me keep doing the right thing to manage this situation, right? So please go through these 11 steps, then you can come out of it. So even during the Buddhist time, Buddha is a very pure person who even don't do anything wrong for another person, even who doesn't do any harm, who didn't do any harm to anybody, even with the trace of a thought, right? But still, even the Buddha had to face such kind of situations. Once, so this happened when the Buddha's teaching and these meditation techniques started to take place. Started to spread fast in Sravasti. At that time, there was a religious group called Tirthakas, right? They were in that particular area. There was a dominant religious group called Tirthakas. So the people who went to their teachings, they stopped going to their temples and started coming to listen to the Buddha and practice the Dharma, right? Then at that time, so whatever the advantages that they got from the other people, so those advantages, all those gains started to decline. So those people thought of a way to bring down the Buddha and to make disgrace at monks. So they selected one of their blind devotees. Her name was Sundari. She was so beautiful. But she was blindly following this religious group, the Tirthakas. The text don't give. I tried to find details about these Tirthakas and their philosophy, but we don't have much resources to know about their philosophy. But historically, now we know they were a group of religious teachers who lived at that before the Buddha's time in India, right? So these religious teachers called Sundari and explained the situation to her, right? They told her, so now the crowd who came to our temples, the number of those people, that's the number of the people who are attending here is in decline, right? So, Sundari, you have to help us. Then she asked, how can I help you? At that time, the Buddha, no, so the Tirthakas told her, Sundari, uh, in the evenings, please go to the Jetavanaram temple. It should be the time that the people return from the temple after the evening lecture. So you have to put makeups, and then you should go towards the Jetavanaram temple. When people ask you, when people question you, asking where you are going, at that time you had tell them, right? You had tell them that I am going to the great monk's room. Who is this great monk? The Buddha. So to sleep there, and then she did like that. And after, when she was doing this for several months. After that, those Tirthakas gave bribes, right, to a group of coolies, murderers, and asked them to kill her and bury her inside the temple premise of Jetwanara. They did the same thing. They killed Sundari and then buried her inside the temple premise of Jetwanara. And then those Tirthakas went to the king and complained the king, "O king, our great devotee, Sundari is missing for several days. The last time that everybody saw her was while she was returning to while she was going inside the Jetavanaram temple. So, O king, please help us to find Sundari." And then, so I mean, not only the king, not only the royal guards, but also the other people also joined to find her. And among them were the murderers who who killed her for money. So they pretended like searching for Sundari, and finally they showed the crowd the exact place where the Sundari was buried. And then again, those Tirthakas gave bribes to another group of people to go to the city and spread this news among the people, saying, "Oh, the Buddha and his disciples so abused Sundari, raped Sundari, and killed her, and so her body was found being buried inside the Jetavanaram temple." You know, people. So most of the people, they are blind, so they don't think deeply. So they believed this, believed the fact that the Buddha and his disciple killed Sundari, and they started accusing the Buddha and his disciples. And then then many people stopped giving dana too. But those practitioners who really understood the qualities of the Buddha and his disciples, they didn't do such kind of things. They kept on giving danas and helping the Buddha and the Bhantes and nuns. Then then meanwhile, the Bhantes went to the Buddha, and then they asked the Buddha a way to answer the people when in this crucial situation, difficult situation. At that time, the Buddha taught all the Bhantes and nuns a stanza. It says, the person, the person who did the wrong thing, if that person says that I didn't do this wrong thing, and at the same time, so if someone did something wrong, and if someone lies to hide that wrong action, both these people are so wrong people, and so they are bound to go to bound. They are after the death. They are bound to be born in difficult worlds. So this was the only answer. So all the Bhantes and nuns, they gave, whenever they were accused and whenever they were disgraced, so they repeated this very stanza as an answer, right? Then the king was suspicious. He sent his FBI, those days FBI, the spies, to a group of spies to investigate. And they went to a place where there was a bar. Those days bars, so it's a booth. So where they drank not whiskey, brandy, these kinds of things, but toddy, a drug at that time. And those coolies who did this wrong action had a fight one day, right? And then so one accused the other, and then the other so the other other murderer, he replied saying, "Oh, are you accusing me? You have to understand, you are drinking toddy with the money that you got by killing Sundari." Those days FBI, they heard this. So then they went to the king, and then let the king know about all the details. Then the king ordered to catch them up and interrogate hard, and then they reveal everything. After that, the people got to know about their wrongdoing. So they felt guilty. Then they started with the very mouths that criticized the Buddha. They started praising the Buddha. So we have to understand. So even the Buddha got accused. So normal people like us, we so no use of talking about the wrong accusations that we get. If a pure person like the Buddha that had to face such kind of situation, we also have to sometimes during our lives. So at such times, understand understand that, and stay calm and follow these 10, 11 procedures to come out of it, right? Then that will help to live a peaceful life in your life, peaceful life, and at the same time, this will help you to not to mess up the situation and develop in the Dhamma practice, right? Please practice like that. So then please follow these 11 steps if you got wrongly accused. Okay? Right. Now we are going to start the silent meditation. Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Let your whole mind and body to calm down. First, I am going to pay our sincere respect and gratitude towards Buddha. And after that, we are going to start today's silent meditation. Please concentrate. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Itimeso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacharana sampanno sungato lokamido Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Sata deva manusanam buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sangdittiko akaliko Ehi passiko opanayiko Bachatang veditammo vinyuhiti Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupanimanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Sami Kimani Pangno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atte Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutterang punyaketang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a balanced, very equanimous, patient mind. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are practicing Vipassana meditation, please practice Vipassana meditation. If you are a new student, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation. Whatever the meditation practice that you are practicing right now, may your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation right now. Now, if you want to change your posture, please change your posture, and then please keep the eyes closed. Only if your legs are paining, um, so only if your legs are paining, you should change your posture. If not, please stay the same. Now we are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. In brief. First, let's share a sincere loving kindness with yourself, with I. Please think, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Me, my dear mother, me, my dear father, me, my dear teachers, relatives, and friends. Be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards them. Now, please spread your loving kindness, sincere loving kindness towards the people in the middle. The people who are neutral, the people who are not your enemies, at the same time who are not your friends. May all the neutral people be well, be happy, be peaceful. May all the neutral people be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards the neutral people. Neutral people. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. Before you spread your loving kindness towards the enemies, first, please ask forgiveness mentally for the mistakes that you did towards them with the intention to hurt them. At the same time, please forgive them for their mistakes in the past. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your enemies. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards the enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Not only human beings, animals, birds, fish, and all the other visible and invisible beings. Let's think of all of them and share your loving kindness with all of them, thinking, may all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. All the beings in the world. Bhavettu sambe mangalam rakantu sambe devatam samme buddhanubhavi samme dhammanubhavi samme sanghanubhavi sada sutti bhavantuti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. everyone, very calmly and quietly, please open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom and bottom to top, top to bottom and bottom to top. Now, please join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope you had a very good meditation session, silent meditation session. Now you are gradually developing in your meditation technique. Not only that, you are understanding the world deeper, so in a deeper manner, deeply, right? And then you realize what you have realized already, that what you actually see is not the actual truth, and what you don't see. So the actual truth that you cannot see by your eyes of flesh. Instead, so the actual truth only can be seen with the eye of wisdom. So this is something that you have already understood, and then with vipassana meditation, you are gradually understanding that truth, right, within, as a wisdom of experience. So as experiential wisdom. So vipassana meditators have something to do now. So now you have experienced um, the arising and passing away of sensations within. Whenever you have a leisure time, so uh, please compare. So the say yourself with the other beings too, right? So understand that just like I am impermanent, all the beings that I see here, they are also impermanent. Just like I am suffering, all these beings are suffering too, right? Just like, so there is no eternal self inside me. So there is no any eternal self inside these beings too. So whatever the understanding that you got about yourself, apply them on the other people too, right? So please wisely do that. So it will help you to develop a lot of great qualities inside. And not only that, your wisdom, your understanding, it goes deeper too because of that, right? So please practice like that whenever you get enough time. So when you have a leisure time, please apply your understanding about yourself, so on the other people too, right? And realize they also have the same nature, right? Right. So please do like that. And last week I mentioned everyone that I will start teaching. So I told you that I would teach you about the Eight Noble Paths, right? So uh, the when I was describing about the fourth noble truth, I told you. So Eight Noble Path is the path to the cessation of suffering. Very nice. Cessation of suffering. So, so say, so I promise, starting from this week, I will teach you that Eight Noble Path one by one. Today we started. So the first part, right? First step of Eight Noble Path is the right view, or we call it, you can call it the right understanding too. In Pali, we call it Samma Ditti in those days language. So Pali, Samma means right, Ditti means wisdom. So view, it's wisdom or understanding or view, right? Then when it comes to general world, we have viewpoints about things, right? So two people's viewpoints may change about the same thing, right? Let's say you take a rose flower, and if you ask two, so their opinion about uh, rose flowers, sometimes you might find two people, two persons. One person likes the rose flower, and the other person doesn't like the rose flower. So there is this vividity. There are these views in people. But but you have to understand that those viewpoints, they are right according to those particular people, right? So there are preferences in people, and because of those preferences, so they have various kinds of viewpoints. Let me tell you a small short story from Sri Lanka in brief. This was read. Its name is The Cat's Eye. So I don't know, Sandrika Akka knows about it. Vairodya. It was written by a writer called Simon Navagattigam. So long time ago, maybe 100 years ago. So it goes like this in brief. Four people in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is famous for gems, right? Four people went to a forest to dig at the place where they are. So dig at the place where they could easily find gems. So while they were digging deeper, so uh, first I have described about these four people. Three people were normal. One person was not normal. He was somewhat autistic, so he didn't understand about the general things, right? So these are the four people. Three people are healthy and general. They were general in nature, just like us. And the fourth person, he was a person who had autism and who didn't understand the general things. So all these four people went to find gems, right, by digging. So they were digging, and finally, when they dug deeper, finally they found one cat's eye. Do you know cat's eye? So the cat's eye is a very rare gem, very rare gem. It's so beautiful. It is called as cat's eye because it actually looks like cat's eye. Inside you see just like, so if you check inside of that gem, you will see something like a worm dancing inside, right? It is connected to this story too. So then uh, then so the person who was, so all three of them cannot dig, right? So two persons were taking out of the mud. One person was digging. So then the person who was digging, he found this, and then he shouted, "Oh, I found a cat's eye." Then the other people asked, "Oh, really?" So then uh, they asked him to send it to them to double check. Then this person didn't think twice, so he sent it to the people who were so who were on the top of that pit, right, digging point. And then, so they saw it, and they understood that it's a real cat's eye. So what they did was they uh, they were so greedy, they decided that they will kill the person who was inside the pit. So they buried him alive with the uh, by covering, so by filling that particular place with the very soil that person dug, right? Then these two people, they were also greedy about this cat's eye. When they went to eat, one person, one of them who was so greedy, he put poison in the food, in the food that the other person was to eat. The other person didn't know about that. He ate it and died. Now, the third person who is surviving, he was so happy. He was so happy, and so South Asian people wear sarongs. You know sarong, right, Mr. Kevin? Sarong is just like a so have you heard the word dhoti? Right. So it's not like this, but sometimes you might have seen them. Yes, just like a towel. So he had this. He was wearing this kind of cloth. So he kept that cat's eye inside uh, at the end of that sarong. Right? Those people put everything at the end of this sarong. They sometimes they eat so beetle leaves. Beetle leaves is also here. Sometimes the torch is also here. So if you find such kind of people who are wearing sarong, you can find a lot of things, lot of good at the ending point of that sarong. So it's just like a pocket. So he kept this cat's eye inside this. So he tied it to the end of that sarong, and he ate well and slept. Then this boy who was autistic, because of his autism, he was called as the baby. Right? He was a grown man, but he was called as baby, Nodarua in Sri Lankan language. So he came and he saw something peculiar. So at the end of this person, he took it. Then, since this person was sleeping, he took that gem out and checked the gem. He didn't know that this is a gem. So his viewpoint is different. Then he saw a worm dancing inside this particular stone. So he felt sorry for the worm. He thought he should take the worm out. So he took it to a place where there was a rock. With the help of another rock, he smashed the gem. He smashed the gem. Gem was smashed into pieces. Then so it was heard by the person who was sleeping. When he went to that place, he understood this baby. He has totally smashed his gem. His head was on fire. He was so angry. Out of rage, he started chasing the baby. Then when he was chasing the baby, so he was not checking the background. I mean, his path. Then he fell down. So sticking to something, he fell down, and his head was his head got smashed on another rock. He also died on the spot. Right after roaming for several days inside the forest, the baby came safely to the village after a few days. This is the story. So in brief. Now, the Jain. For those three people, this was a very precious thing. But for the baby's viewpoint, it's just a stone, right? Yes, according to the constitutional truth, we give a big value to that cat's eye, right? So you can say, yes, so it is because it's rare, it is worthy, and some can say, but still it is a stone, right? So there is this debate when it comes to the constitutional truth, the truth that we have been, right? But there are truths which you cannot, there are certain truths which are very pure, and when it comes to these truths, there are no two viewpoints, right? So there are no two viewpoints. So finally, you can figure out, you can call that truth the ultimate truth. For an example, impermanence. Impermanence is a truth which has no two viewpoints. Impermanence is something purely a truth, a reality. There is no any Buddhist impermanence, Hindu impermanence, Christian impermanence, then Muslim impermanence, Jew impermanence, atheist or agnostic impermanence. Impermanence is impermanence. If someone understands so impermanence as impermanence, then it's a right view. I already have taught you deeply what is impermanence. The constant nature of changing. We are constantly changing. So the person who is here right now, the nature of being who is here right now, so that was not before. For an example, let's take the name Shaurya, right? So the Shaurya who is here right now, he was not here at the last moment. And that very Shaurya, you cannot find that very Shaurya in the next moment. We are continuously changing. We are continuously changing. So that is called as impermanence. Then after that, so second one, suffering. So when it comes to suffering, so there is no any Buddhist suffering, Hindu suffering, Christian suffering, or atheist, Muslim suffering, atheist, or agnostic suffering. Suffering is suffering. Death is suffering. It's suffering to everybody. Decaying, old age, that's suffering for all, right? So it doesn't matter whether you came from Sri Lanka, India, China, or United States or Bangladesh, or it doesn't matter, or Malaysia, right? So that's a universal truth. Then after that, no self nature, right? Nature of no self. There is no any eternal life. So this is also a truth, such kind of a truth, right? So which is universal, which is purely a truth, right? If someone see these three characteristics as the truth, then that's right understanding. Then again, Buddha teaches us another 10 general things, so that we have to understand rightly. So, if someone has the understanding about these 10 general things, right understanding about these 10 general things, so that person can lead good general life, right? So there are ultimate right understandings, there are general right understandings, right? What are these 10 general right understandings? Number one, first we have to understand what are the 10 10 wrong understandings. So there are people who believe that no use of giving. Generosity is foolish, right? And then offering things for the for the people who deserve veneration. So worshipping the people who deserve veneration. So venerating them is foolish. And then number 3, so no use of showing respect to the people who have higher qualities, right? Then there is no something called good karma or bad karma. So, yeah, so in India at that time, there was a person called Makkali Gosal. He said, don't worry, even though you keep on killing from the starting point of Ganges to the ending point of Ganges River, there is no sin. Don't worry, no bad karma. And starting from the ending point of Ganges to the ending point of Ganges River to the starting point of Ganges River, if you keep on giving and giving and giving things to people, there is no good karma. Don't worry. So there are such kind of people. There were such kind of people even during the Buddhist time. And then people think there is no something called this world, and there is no something called next world, next life, right? And then people think then there is no someone called mom, right? Because at that time there was a person called Pakuda Kachan. He believed in this. He said, no mother. There is no mother in the world. And there is no father too. Right? So then so ninth one is, so there is no some kind of a group of beings called the beings who were born because of the appearance, who will be born by appearance. So I already taught you about the 4 ways how beings are born: by an egg, at a wet place, inside water, and by appearance. Right? So I already taught them. And then, so we see the other 3, but we don't see the 4th one. But there are beings who are born like that. You can't see because your vision and your mind, it's not sharp enough to see them. Your eyes are not sharp enough to see them. And your mental level is also not sharp enough to see them. It doesn't mean you cannot see them. You still can see, but they are there. But if you want to see them, then develop your concentration to the 4th level of concentration. Right? Then you can see. Right? Then 10th wrong view is, there is no monks or nuns in the world who understood the reality, so real truth about things as they actually are by their own experience, right? So these are the 10 wrong beliefs. Then what are the 10? 10 general wrong understanding. 10 general wrong views, right? Right? So, mom, can you understand English? Your mom? All right, okay. Then these are 10 general wrong views. And then, so the opposite side of those 10 is the 10 general right views. What are the 10 general right views? Giving is nice. Giving is nice. So that's the first general right view. Second one is, so offering things to people, right, who deserve offering, deserve veneration. So venerating the people who deserve veneration, that's a nice thing, right? And then taking care of the people with higher qualities, mother, father, so senior relatives, then elders, such kind of people. That's a good quality. So it's a good thing. And then there are good karmas. Fourth one, there are good karmas and there are bad karmas, right? Right. Then fifth one is there is a life called this life, this world, right? Then there is a life called we will have a we have something called the next life, right? So that's the next one. There is a mother, there is a father. There is someone called the mother, there is someone called the father, right? Then there are beings who are born by appearance, right? Final right view is so there are monks and nuns who practice this noble path ardently, and there are monks and nuns within the enlightenment, right? So these are the 10 right views. If someone has these 10 right, general right views, then that person also has right understanding, right? Right understanding. Then the other right understanding is, um, so so in Pali it is called as the Chatusatya Sammaditthi. That means the right view about the Four Noble Truths. I already described the Four Noble Truths. What are the Four Noble Truths? Yes, suffering, cause of suffering. No, cessation of. Mr. Kevin, fourth one. Very nice. The path, Mrs. Geraldine.
There is a path to out of suffering.
Yes, cessation of suffering. Right. These are the four. Very nice. I'm proud of you. You remember. Good. So these are the four. So there is suffering, universal suffering, which is universal for common for all the beings. And then there's cause of suffering, that is that, the craving. And then if you let go of the craving, third one, if you let go of the craving, you can come out of your suffering. And fourth one is how to do that. The path to the cessation of suffering, which is the Eighth Noble Path that I'm teaching right now, right? So then now you know. So if you have good understanding, deep understanding about these Four Noble Truths, then that's also the right view. So right understanding. So what are the right understandings? If you know about the three characteristics of life: impermanence, suffering, and no self, that's right view, right understanding. Then if you know about the 10, if you have the 10 general right understandings, then you have right understanding. Then if you know, if you realize, if you really understand the Four Noble Truths, then you have the right understanding. Right? Got it? Okay. Then when you have this right understanding, it leads to the next step. When you have this right understanding, it leads to the next step, which is the right concept. Our whole life goes like this. Your life is also the same when it comes to general things. So you live your life according to your own understanding. On your own general understandings, because of your own general understandings, you have created your own concepts, right? So whenever something happens, you react to that particular thing according to the concepts that you develop in your life. So according to the understanding that you do have. Is that right? Pratyush, is that right? That is the truth, right? If you see something in, so let's say So certain, so there is a person. So there is something valuable somewhere. One person steals that. One person doesn't steal. Why is that? Those two people had their own understanding. Based on those understandings, those two people, Mr. Tim, have created their own concepts. So because of those concepts, the actions have got shaped, right? So because of this right understanding, then so it is the same with spiritual practice, right? Spiritual practice. So because of the right understanding about things as they actually are, then we develop concepts. In the next week, we are going to talk about the right concepts, that three kinds of right concepts that we develop because of these right understandings. These 8 days that we discuss this about the 8 noble path, they are very crucial. They'll be very helpful for your life. So everyone, you are very kindly requested to come so attend regularly at least. So on so I can request to come regularly on all these 8 days, because they are going to give you a lot of life-changing ideas, life-changing ideas to shape your life, to recreate your life. And so those teachings will help you to have a better life with a lot of peace and happiness. And it will help you to understand and live a life of understand the life as it is, and then it will help you to live a harmless life, right? So please attend continuously, and if you can, please bring your books and write down the facts that I'm teaching. This, even though I teach, these teachings belongs to the Buddha, and if there is anything wrong that I do, then so I take the whole responsibility. But if there is any credit, all that credit goes to the Buddha, right? Not mine. So I am still a practitioner. So I have gone somewhat higher than you, but still I'm a practitioner, humble practitioner. So, uh, I will teach you in the best way that I can, but please note them down. And not only note, you should note them down. Please apply these teachings to your own life and shape your life in a better way. Right? That's enough. So in the next week, we are going to learn about the three kinds of right concepts. Right? Now everyone, please think. Together, all of us gathered here and practice this noble, non-sectarian, pure meditation technique. By that way, we accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all that positive energy, please think. May all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. And may we be able to practice this noble, non-sectarian Dhamma practice very ardently. And finally, may all of us be able to come out of all the negativities and develop all the positivities inside and attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone, please join your palms together and concentrate. I'm going to give you a very small blessing. Abhivadana silise nichang vada pachaino chattaro dhamma vadante ayuvang no sukang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vache ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjato. May all of you be well. May all of you be happy. May all of you be very, very peaceful and blessed. Good night to everyone. Take rest and see you all in the next week, on next Friday. Take rest. May all the good happen. And, good night, Mr. Huan.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you so much.
Good night, Mr. Bhanu.
Good night, Bhante.
Good night.
Thank you.
Pragati and Rahul, good night.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you so
Good
much.
night. May all the good happen. Good night, Miss Kim. Right. Mrs. Lees, good night. Good night, Miss Lees. I don't hear you. Good night. Good night, Miss Lees.
I actually had unmuted everyone, Bhante. So
Oh, right. Right.
good night to you. I'm so happy to see you again. May
Oh,
you
right. And good night, Miss Rita.
Good night.
Good night. May all the good happen to you. May you have gain good health.